Hello, welcome to my channel. It's Müge speaking from Mumus Art. Today I'm going to show you a very easy method about how to make good faces for a 9-head fashion illustration. First, when you try to trace the head, you have to trace the whole head, not just the face. You have to analyze the body parts piece by piece, as I show you in other videos. So, until so far you already know it. Then I'm not trying to trace the same hair at all because of the size will be changed. All I need to do is to understand this face. So I'm making guidelines and here I have something like that. Then I put it as usual like chin to 1, level 1, and then I need a balance line. So I'm just making the head part here so that you can understand much better. Here, you have to diminish the head. Why? Because normal human head is a big one. So for an A4 paper, size can be 3 centimeter long, 2 centimeter wide, and neck can be 1 centimeter. It's always a good point. So for this reason, I'm giving you some already made calculations for better usage. Here, as you see, I just lowered the shoulders a little bit, although I stayed the shoulder line. Because all these muscles, if I keep them as it is, it's going to look as if there is a bull there. So then I make all the lines parallel, a little bit dropped. We are dealing with a very small, like 3 centimeter, 2 centimeter is small. It's a little bit miniature. But it helps. Here, what I did, I just make the copy from one side. It's a frontal side, so I know that both party will be completely similar. Here, I'm just adjusting everything on place by moving on the same balance line so that now I have something like that. I just put them on the correct places. So I dropped them and now I folded them. If you want to do some, especially for a beginner, it can be a good idea. Here what I do, I'm just tracing, and here I have a good mirror image. For practice you can use it, but be careful, you have to adjust the eyes just a little bit and be sure that it's going to look okay. Here I come from the sides to the chin and I'm making all these little details and the brows, because this mirror method can be useful for you, because the most difficult thing is always making a mirror image for every beginner, even at other faces. Then you can adjust the hair by looking at it, or you can make it from your mind. But if you want to do it from your mind, first you need to do lots of observation, then you are able to understand. Hair is a very tricky thing and it's one of the most difficult parts in fashion illustration at all. I'm putting them like in tresses, in pieces. That some of them are coming in front, some of them are going back, but because it is a transparent paper, you can draw as you like it. So I wanted to have some full ones. Here I'm using an Almond Pro marker and Ivory Pro marker. I'm going to use Ivory as a base and Almond as a shadow. Almond is a little bit pinkish, so that it's going to make the skin look more healthy. But you can use the same effect with satin also. It's blending very well with ivory. Then, when you try to apply markers, please don't be forgetting that. First, you need to take out the excess. Then, never just paint all over. Try to make from the very first way. Like Again, like this time, like forehead, eyes, but never put any painting in the white of the eyes. Otherwise, you can never take it back. Leave them. We are going to use the paper for that. And please don't forget that markers are transparent, and all these movement lines that you think is not going to show, at the end they are showing. And also it's a good rehearsal for you to understand it. Here there are bones, of course, for this reason. I know that they're a little bit in front of everything, so I can leave them white to have a more shiny effect. Here I start application of the shadows always with the eyes. Why? Because they are always at the very back of the face. So think about which part is in front, which part is at back. I like cheekbones, that's why I'm making these type of cheekbones, but if you don't need to. But always make a frame around the face. This is important. And that part, the part just beneath the chin, always needs to be darker because it is, I mean, there's face and there's neck. Neck is behind the face. After that, everything starts like here now. I don't wait to finish the whole face. I'm going to make a base for everything, then layer by layer I'm going to make. Here, I also want to show you how to do hair. Like, do you remember the tresses that I diversed the hair? So here how I work. So I'm thinking which one is in front, which one is back. And if you want to have glowy hair, which is very shiny hair, if there are some curvy lines, please leave some white at the top of that curve. And be sure that when you come on the edge, the tip of the hair, you have to be very elastic, and afterwards you can use some colored pencil and you can put some of them a little bit, free. That part is always needs to be darker because it is at the very, very behind of everything. So basically, in order to be able to do these type of things from head, you have to do, I don't remember how many times I made portraits and hair. So no pain, no gain. That means, of course, it's not painful, it is enjoyable, but there's frustration about hair always. Like, it was my main frustration. But at the end, after you do many times, you can understand the dynamics much more better because you are embedding these to your mind. That is the reason. Here, I made all. Never try to make with marker about the eye because the tip of the marker, even though you touch very little, is big. If you want to try, just touch the ground. Don't push it. But for any starter, the easiest way is always with a very sharpened colored pencil. If the tip is blunt, it's not working at all. Here I'm using some colored pencil. I'm framing the complete face, and if you want to have some smoky eyes, like colored pencils are best. You can blend with the marker. So I'm working in very small detail here, but still you can give all the details. It can be 3 centimeter total, but still there is room. So how I do it? Like, slowly, I'm just blending it. I'm paying attention. But if you feel that it's going to look sandy, you can go over with the marker to burnish it. But generally speaking, if you make it in a good way, it doesn't look very sandy at all. Here, I'm going all over because I'm going to burnish it so that you can see the result. I like polished looks. That's why if you are like me, it can be a good idea to use colored pencil and then burn it with the markers. And I'm putting it, I'm re-evaluating everything as I always tell you. And now it's time, so it is a base, just a base. And now it's time for definition. Colored pencils are perfect material to make small details like these, and because your brows are also hair, so if you are moving like that, it's going to be a good idea. But be careful about how to do it, the direction. I'm going from center to side and center to side for both left and right. I'm never going from left to right, in both ways. You see, I'm going from inside to outside. Because if you try to do that way, you are going to have crooked eyes. That is guaranteed. And all the newcomers, all the students are always doing that mistake. So it is something you can avoid in a very easy way. And for the lips, again, don't do it. The tip is very big. Or just barely touch it. As you can see, yes, for example, I can make it. But how I do it, I just barely touch it. But still, for everybody, it can be a safer choice. Just use your colored pencil, but first sharpen them. Or there are some thinner lined pencils. With colored pencils, you can make them much more safer and easier, because generally people are messing up at the end. When they come to lips, they have a tendency to burn. And with your marker, with something like ivory color, you can make the color, transferred in a much more better way also. So instead of using dark colored markers, I'm using it like a blender, or a blender will do also. And here, now she has like honey color. But in every hair color, there are multiple colors, like shadows, lighter parts, because there is a sun reflecting on our hair, and we have to give them. Otherwise, it's going to look flat. But this part, for example, you can always put extra volume, extra darkness there, because it is very behind. So at the end, you have a fast sketch like this. Thank you very much for watching me.